Thanks for adjusting your schedules to make it work this week on a little bit different format. And you go on a short week, and so in our world it's Tuesday and a game week and get ready to go. So we moved our practice to the evening to give us a little more time to get ready for this game on Friday. And our players have done a nice job from the first meeting we had after our last game on getting ready to move past it, because we set the stage a little bit on knowing the urgency to get back to work for this week and all the things that go into it for our seniors on the last chance to play at home for the last game in November, which we made a huge emphasis on. So many factors going into it for us. Our guys have responded in a great way, and look forward to getting on the field with them tonight and getting the first practice back. So from an injury report, Rashad Floyd made it back to campus yesterday, and he's doing well. Would probably count him out at this point for this week. I think that would be wise to go ahead and plan on that. And Albert will be limited today and see what he can do on the field. How we move forward there. We'll have some guys that are banged up from the game, but from that, a good report on Adam Sparks last night. That see what he can do. Get some water. All right. If we can get him back out on the field, I think he's close, so that'd be good. And other than that, it's week 12, and the things that you build all season on the course of the off season throughout fall camp, and then build up to being able to play your best late in the year. It all kind of comes to the front and center now on being able to withstand the grind of how many weeks we played in a row, and our guys have really improved and have taken ownership on wanting to get better each game and each week. So excited to get back out there with them today. And I can't say enough about what the senior class has done and the importance for us as staff and underclassmen to make sure that we do our part in preparing the right way where we can line up Friday and go play our best game.
Barry, I'm sure you'll do it more after the season's over, but can you just reflect on what this class has kind of been through since they committed to the team that had been to 2 straight SEC title games and then went through a lot of stuff there for a couple years? Yeah,
I think it'll be a time for that, but you look back and going through the roster a little bit just on how recruiting numbers and the guys that are walking out the door, and always in our team meetings, the seniors, they sit in the front row. Just traditionally has kind of worked that way. So I made a point to those guys how quickly the time goes your senior year, and you can say it all you want until you live it and do it. It doesn't really hit home, and we've still got time after this game to be together, but they've been there's been some lows and there's been some highs, and the things that that they've been able to hold tight together and hold true to them is going to help them down the road. And the experience that they finished the year off the right way this year, I want it for them, and that's something that we've got to get done. But also, they understand the opportunity they have to leave their name on what they did here their senior year, and that's important to them as well.
Barry, to your right, what are some of the pitfalls or things that concern you when you get a team like Arkansas that's record maybe not where they certainly would want to see it? You come in against an opponent like that.
I don't worry about what the record is or isn't. We need to prepare really, really well. They've got enough players. They've got a really good staff. We know that we'll get their best shot, so we need to prepare and go play our game. And if we can do that, then we've done everything that we need to, and spend time thinking about what our record is or isn't, or what theirs is or should be, then that's wasted time on preparing.
Barry, Reno Perkins gave you some good snaps on Saturday at linebacker. Just what have you seen at the end of the season, especially with Brandon Lake kind of having some injuries to deal with?
Yeah, Reno, just like a number of guys, through injury in this part of the year, you got to step up and be prepared to play, and he really played about every snap. the other night and played really well. So he's athletic, he understands the defense, was assignment sound, and then made some plays. And he's been a really big role in what we've done. Special teams, he's helped us, in some spot sub-packaging defensively, and then his number was called the other day to be the starter and go play, and he played well. So he had a really good week of practice and has the last couple of weeks, and think that he's got a chance to continue to help us here in the next two games we've got.
Barry, going back to 2016 when you guys played Arkansas, how impactful was that game in getting the program to where it's at right now?
Well, I think I have to think back for a minute. I know we won the game, but late in the year, we beat Vandy, then lost to Tennessee, right, and then came back and beat Arkansas. So I think we were moving in the right direction. We still were not a very consistent football team, but it was a good win. And I think that there were emphases at that time being made about winning late in the year, and so I think we won 2 out of 4 that year. But I don't know that I know it gave us a little bit of momentum going into the offseason on some things to build on. But that's about all I'll say about that.
Barry, Drew's numbers this year, they look different than last year. How is he better in your eyes as a quarterback?
He's playing smarter football, and he's making wiser decisions and understanding that he doesn't have to make every throw. There's times that he can get away with throwing it out of bounds or throwing it away and live to play the next snap. He's understanding how to read defenses, better than he ever has. He's at a different level now, and I think he's shown a lot more patience. And all of those have made us a better team.
Got kind of the entire gamut of targeting calls on Saturday. Rashad gets knocked out, and then looked like on Tavon's hit that the guy kind of ducked into him. Does there have to be a way to look at that and adjust what the rule is?
You ready for demonstration number 2? There's, when Tavon had already gone into the act of making the tackle, it's one thing I think I talked about, we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. You've already gone in position, and in the action of making the tackle, and the ball carrier changes his, his level. You can't change your body once you're in the air going to make a tackle, and if the offensive guy makes a move after you've already gone into position to make it, then you're in a tough spot. So I thought Tavon's initial aiming point the other day was exactly where it needed to be, but in the direction that the offensive player ended up, we were in the wrong spot. So I don't know how we do it. Again, I'm all for the safety of the game and making sure that we do everything that we can to promote that and teach it. But there's going to be a fine line there on some of those that, after replay and review, if you can see some of those things, I know that will be a topic this offseason for sure within the rules meetings and all the ways that we do to try to make our game better.
You guys have had so much success on third down, offensively and defensively this season. Does that just come down to approaching that in a different way? Is it scheme or?
I think a combination of a lot of things, and then also, it's not a lot of credit we can take for Beatty breaking a couple tackles the other day on third down, so it's execution also. So, a number of things go into it. You spend a lot of time in the off season, during the season on your third down, opportunities on both sides of the ball. You feel like if you can get, defensively speaking, if you can get some sort of idea on their protection, and then the things that they really like and have success on third down, and then initially try to take those away and work from there. I think both sides of the ball, staff-wise, have done a nice job on getting our guys in position to give them a chance, but then also, we're better coaches when we've got really good players that go execute, and that's part of it too.
Barry, in your mind, how has Coach Dooley made his mark on this team and on this offense in his first year, and how does that compare to what you guys were kind of thinking this offense would look like when you were talking things out in the spring?
Well, I think, one thing I wanted to do at the beginning of the year was for everyone just to give him a chance, and let's judge it on 12 opportunities of being on display. He's moved the offense forward. He's done a really good job of leading that side of the ball. He's given us a chance to play smart team football, and I think he's made that side of the ball better. So, all in all, for the first 11 games, we've gotten about out of that side what I kind of thought we would. And there's always things, we can be a lot better, and there's some things that he's done that has exceeded kind of my thoughts on some things, but also, I want him to be really good Friday for 3.5 hours, and then we get into the next game plan. So I'm happy he's here. He's done a really nice job. He's been a good addition.
Barry, just to go back to the targeting, I've tried to research it, and I really can't find anything on the NCAA. Is it hitting with the crown of the helmet? Is that part of targeting?
There'd be a number of things that would go into the call, and that would be one of them. It would be at the top of it. And really any contact you have above the shoulder pad area on the ball carrier, defenseless, that word comes in. There's a whole number of things that really should issue the target call, the targeting call. And if you hit any of those, then it's going to be flagged. And then, the good thing that you got a chance to overturn it by video replay. And so that was a change that we've had that's helped. But, it's also, things happen so fast, that it's going to happen, unfortunately.
There were a couple different things said about whatever DeMare's injury was on Saturday. What's he dealing with, and considering he hasn't gotten to play Arkansas the first 2 years, is it a little bit more emphasis for him to get back?
Yeah, I know he's spending a lot of time to have an opportunity to go play. He all the storylines with that when he wants to play, and I think he's going to be ready to go do that. So he'll go in. I just hate it for him being banged up the other day because he was playing so well. We needed it. But the other guys stepped up and did a nice job. But DC's done a great job leading. He's played really well the last couple of weeks, and it's been kind of what I wanted to see out of him. He's done.
Barry, we touched on Drew obviously, but throughout the season you've kind of mentioned Terry and Terez Hall as leaders on the defensive side of the ball. Just how difficult will it be to kind of replace what they bring from a leadership and locker room perspective?
Well, I think always, you wish you could keep those guys around forever, and but the leadership, we got really good leaders in every class, and it happens every year that some of your seniors, if they're really good players, they should be some of your best leaders. And those guys certainly are, and we will miss that, but also as a challenge to everybody else in the program, it's time to step up and fill that void, and we've got a lot of guys that are right there close to being the same leadership capabilities that they have, and not that they're waiting their turn, but also you don't want too many voices, but we've got a number of guys that are doing a great job in that capacity, and that'll be one of the main emphasis for me in the offseason is continuing to build that, and not only with our going to be seniors next year, but all the underclassmen as well.
Coach, I know you're handing out some tickets. I don't know how exactly the idea came about, and just for you, how important is it to have the fans here for the seniors? Obviously, it's Thanksgiving weekend. Some people may not be here, but how important is it to kind of have the fan base here to send out your team the right way?
We'd like for any time that we play at home for the place to be at capacity. That's one of the goals that I have to try to get done over. Eventually build it into that, and the element of having the fans behind you playing at home, that's one that always gives you an advantage, and the emotion of the game, the ways that the pageantry and the passion of our league and the fan bases, that's part of it that makes it really unique. So for seniors, I've talked about it a little bit, you're going to remember, they're going to remember every aspect of that last home game, and you'd like for the support to be there, and give credit to those 18 or 19 seniors that we've got that will be the last time playing on the field.
Going off your, since you opened your wallet for that, do you know generally what the boost has been?
I have no idea. It's we've been you know, there's a lot of people focused on that, and I'm trying to get ready to go coach the game.
Anything more? We got time for more.
Mayor, what is Chad Morris's offenses? What do you have to be ready for what they do well?
Yeah, the things, you know, they've got some different things. The tight end play, you know, he's always, you know, over the course of studying him, he's had a guy that in that position that's played really well, and that's the case again this year. We've got 3 backs that rotate in that are playing, you know, at a level that cause concern. I think there are some things you've seen in the last couple of weeks in the run game that, you know, specifically against Vandy that they did that was hard to stop. You know, and you're always going to get some version of motion or shift or trade formations that you better be dialed into to be able to, you know, make your checks as needed if you're in man concepts. So there's enough of that stuff that you got to spend time on. That if you're not right, it exposes you pretty quickly. So he's had a lot of success coaching offensive ball over his career, and we got enough to work on.
You mentioned Saturday that people tend to remember, players tend to remember senior night and all the things that go into it. What memories do you have of playing your last game?
Mine wasn't very good. I got my tail kicked by A&M and I tore my ACL, so it was awesome. So, but you do, you remember, you know, I think most guys that are in it for you know, 3, 4, 5 years in a specific college, they you know, they always take things with you, and your last home game is one of them that you always remember. You know? So I want it to be a moment that they look back on and have great memories.
Anything more? Going once? All right.
All right, guys, have a great Thanksgiving.